Hello everyone, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is PUPUT AZMIYATI. I'm from English Education E2. In this video, I will interpret about Semeru hot cloud fall. Semeru hot cloud fall. Hi, we have connected with your correspondent Indonesia Miftah Fad Miftah. How is the research process for 9 residents who are declared missing, especially related to inadequate equipment carried out by the community self-help? Then, the weather is also often in the until the afternoon it rains at this time. I am at the one of 3 research points, which is the bin room, and now I'm going to take you right away to see the research process. Until almost 11 o'clock this afternoon, 2 bodies were left by the SAR team either to the Kajang room area or even to, and there was also 313 destroyed found one intact skeleton, and the place to report this Kajang room, he found a body part in the form of head in a job AB, which a zone where excavator or heavy heavy vehicles are parked in this sign mine. Now, this is one of excavator that has been digging. Even since this morning the excavation has continued. It has been about 8 meters deep from the surface. I stood and here it was marked, actually by sniffer dogs, that here there are also bird victim bodies. Then excavation process using an excavator will be carried out brightly later at a certain point when it is felt that it is approaching the body or the victim's body. The excavation is carried out manually, but so far we are still waiting for the excavation process carried out with an excavator. Until this afternoon the bulk process is still being carried out, and of course no manual excavation has been carried out because, considering this position is quite dangerous, it is still step steep and still in the process of being researched, especially at the point that have been marked earlier. You can see those eye views are the farthest point from the Kajang room area, or to be precise, at the mining company office, and right where I reported this. This is where the mining company is already barred, even exceeding the limit of embankment on the other side. This is the farther area, and the ship is pulled from the safe point line. Eye your forehead, neck very careful. It faces Indonesian Equator. The Puncak Seng area is very spicy. The places are beautiful. Ten are smart to coordinate and position, so its complete sold out. Then our order cut is shown 4,000 because it just type if anything happens, especially when it rains really hard. I'm also wait with a neighbor. Beware it's hot, he continued Major. The combined smart peak evacuation process will be carried out immediately considering the distance is close. The safe location is still far. We don't need more time to do it. Okay, advanced friends. To skipping or escaping, so far the team is having a bit of hard time evaluating the evacuation because of the thickness of the suspected point. There were dozens of victims report, reported according to witnesses. Presley in the mining company office area. So far, evacuation are still being carried out and evacuation are still being carried out with excavator considering the thickness of the volcanic material where they can stand approximately 8 meters and the zone B is about 3 meters precisely in the excavator parking area and earlier where a body part in the form of a head was found for residents. So far, I have seen that there are indeed some residents who are helping with this evacuation process or the research process, and the residents have become a guide for the joint chief or staff to determine how they last saw this victim where they were, and then excavation was carried out, and also after being excavated and then carried out the research used a sniffer dog, and after sniff the dog sniffed the point suspected of containing the victim's body. He was given a point P. Woolen would be excavated until this afternoon using an excavator. We are still waiting for the process by this research and evacuation, and we hope that even from a glance earlier this afternoon, the top position of Semeru is already covered by clouds. Even though you believe it or not, as long as there is no warning to vacate this area from the security officer, who is especially tasked with monitoring the dynamic on the top of Semeru for the safety of the evacuator team in this area, which number dozens of people divided to into 2 points, namely in the Zone B and the Zone A, where I'm standing, and some of them are doing sweep and in the area. Which, if I see this one of the trucks that was successfully lifted from the ground, but it but in the cabin of the truck that was successfully lifted there were around three trucks and were observed to empty. Okay, come on. Oh, okay, we can see that the thickness or width of this hot volcanic hot cold about is 2.2 and a half kilometers from, and so you can imagine how that even on Saturday 4 December happened. So that a lot of workers were trapped in this area and they failed to save themselves considering the birth of the volcano that hit this area. Pile thickness and also width are according to information there are dozens of workers, but both operator and administrative personnel, two of whom women, and one of them is reported to be trapped and pregnant condition. And until this afternoon, the search is still ongoing. Yuda, for example, if we talk about resident, the condition of Mount Sumer is still very volatile and talk about and if the residents still there to reach the red and dangerous zones, will the local government relocate them in the future? And what if the conditions are stable? The residents take the initiative or still want to return to to the area where they live. Uh, is is there really a policy related to this? In the future, mapping has also been carried out, both aerial mapping and field mapping. Directly, it was already decided that some of those points would be decided. To estimate the location, for example, the Book of Kokoban, the Cas de Yellow, then also the area of Kajangrum, and also Kampung Choili, just below place this report is a part of volcanic material, so it is not possible to be re-inhabited. So that the most rational or safest scenario is move the resident. Some of the residents who have fled, I also asked if they want to return their homes. They said firmly that they not there to live again in the area which on last December was swept away by hot clouds of avalanche and volcanic materials. They did not dare to have a thick enough trauma that have currently waiting for decision from the government how this is a location scenario. The government has released a statement saying that for 6 months during the growing period of the relocation house they will be given assistance for 6 months and also temporary housing while waiting for the relocation location and building a house in a place where to this day they are still waiting for clarification from the government. There are really needs to be communication between the government and the refugees, especially refugees who were directly affected, whose houses were destroyed. Even their village were destroyed because of volcanic material, and they hoped that the government would come to them to explain how their future is, especially their housing. They are very happy or very happily when the government is uses relocation scenario and they will be helped to build a house, but they are still waiting for the location, which is why they first remember the place of their child's school where they work, and they hope it is not too far from the location where they work and also their children activities that are mainly in the field of education. As Fahri, thank you for the report immediately after returning of the day. Thank you for attention. Thank you for watching this video. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.